So good morning, a very good morning to everyone. My name is Kanchi Khanna and I'm the Director Outreach at Krea University. We are so happy to have you with us today. And I'd also like to mention that we have with me a couple of our current students, Ananya and Arnav, and they'll be joining you soon, sharing their experiences with you. So before we really move into the specifics of the undergraduate program, I'd like to briefly talk about or introduce Krea University and what it means, to have a university like that in India now. Krea is a liberal learning institute, and we have, even though we are a liberal arts and sciences program, but what we're really proud of is that we pioneered the interwoven learning model. The interwoven learning model is very new, and we are also in many ways figuring out how it's going to become a reality in our classrooms now. It was a very well thought and curated curriculum. We've had a set of guiding principles which have really guided us through it, or to plan it and to put the curriculum in place. But before that, Krea is set up as a response to, really the need of the hour, and the need of the hour to have graduates who are skilled, who are prepared for, this Industry 4.0 that's coming in. We all know that a lot of jobs are going to be lost to automation. We know that a lot of technology is going to come in. We also know that the lines between humanities and sciences is blurring, and that everything is interdependent and intersects at many, many places. So our graduates, students of today who will be the workforce of tomorrow, have to be very, very skilled, and skilled in a different way than we were. They will have to be comfortable with uncertainty because it's such a fast changing world. They will also have to be very, very comfortable with technology, because if we just look at it right now, if we just look at right now, we all had to depend on technology. So anyone who said that I was not comfortable with it, or I'm not comfortable with computers, or the online way of working, would have found it very difficult now in times like this. But it's not just times like this. I think going forward, we are going to depend more and more on technology to aid us and enhance our experiences, right? So for a graduate of today, he has to not only understand the, interrelations between humans and other humans, between humans and machines, and also between humans and nature. So what is it that we do, and how does it impact the environment? How is it going to affect not just ours, but many, many generations to come? If we look at the machines, like I just spoke about technology, a few years back, the conversation was, what can machines do for us? But really, the conversation now has moved to what is our role in this highly automated world? What are humans supposed to do if everything is going to be done by robots and machines? Similarly, we cannot say that with the coming in of technology, the human-human interaction is going to go down. It's not, because just before this whole COVID situation, people were moving all over the world. The mobility had increased so much that we were constantly interacting with people who were different from us, who didn't look like us, who were from other places, from other cities, from other countries, and we have to learn how to interact with them as well. So the workforce of tomorrow will have, really all these perspectives to work with. They will have to be comfortable with all of these. So given that, and given the fact that, very narrowly focused programs were preparing students just for very few jobs, Krea aims to really prepare them for whatever they may take up immediately and whatever they may take up in the future. So towards that, we've designed a program very carefully. We've got some of the best minds in the world to design it. And if you just care to wait for a second, I'll share a presentation with you. And while I talk, I think it's a good idea for you to look at it as well. So I spoke about the interwoven learning. And the interwoven learning method or model really looks at building skills which are as we call them, the 6 C's: comprehension, critical thinking, collaboration, computational abilities, creativity, communication. So all these are skills that will be really required in the new workplace and will be appreciated, and students and graduates who are good at it will find a place which will be very strong in this new work area. So the interwoven learning and its guiding principles, as you can see on the screen, every major that's taught at Krea will be definitely writing intensive, because we are very keen that you learn to communicate. It will definitely have a research element to it, because it's not just about learning what is already there, but it's also learning to learn and learning to create stuff, to understand, to innovate, right? Interdisciplinary, yes, all courses at Krea will be interdisciplinary. Nothing will be taught in silos. And we will push our students to look at their discipline as it talks to other disciplines, right? Ethics, again, I have seen very few curriculums across the world which lay so much focus on ethics. But in every classroom, we will interweave the ethical questions and the ethical conversations, as to how you will behave or how you will take on the challenges that will come ahead in a very ethical manner. So similarly, data analytics, like I said, technology is so important. Data is coming in from so many different places, how to make sense of it, how to understand it, and how to make your decision making more and more robust by using data. Immersive learning is also a very important part of Krea's learning. The practical has to marry with the theory. So towards that, we'll be bringing in experts, we'll be bringing in industry people, there'll be projects, there'll be internships, there'll be seminars, so that, whatever students are learning within the classroom has relevance outside to it. We don't know how these ideas are going to evolve or what kind of questions we're going to deal with, but our students should be encouraged to discuss, debate, converse upon something which we haven't really found an answer to right now. So a lot of people want to know here, I'm sure, what do we do when you're at Krea, or how is it different, or how is it taught differently? Because, a lot of people have told me that we expect the different, we expect something very different from Krea. So yes, Krea has thought about its course structure also a lot differently. When the students apply to us and they are selected and they join us, they don't come into they don't join into different majors or different specializations. They all join into a single batch and a single foundation course. Now that foundation course, the first year, which our first year students have already been through, and they are with me and I'll ask them to share their experience around that, will be divided into two kinds of courses. One will be the core courses and one will be the skill courses. The cores are really to introduce you to the different ways of thinking in the world, whether it's the sciences or the humanities or the arts. The skill courses will be more towards skilling you for the workforce. So a lot of people believe that the liberal kind of learning or the interwoven learning that we say may not be relevant to the industry, but we want to really let you know that our students will be more prepared for the industry than any other student from any other singularly focused courses, right? So they'll be taught data analytics, they'll be taught computers, they'll be taught design thinking and critical thinking. They'll be pushed to really evolve while in the 3 years that they are here. So after the first year, they start choosing their majors. And by this time, they have seen a lot of, they've engaged with the subjects, they've engaged with the disciplines in some initial way, and they know in a better place to understand themselves, in a better place to understand what they want to do. So in the second year, they choose their majors and minors. Right? So for the majors, they need to do up to 15 courses. For a minor, they can do about 7 to 8. But they don't have to do a minor. They can even spread those 8 courses across to many different, electives. In the second, sorry, I'll just go back to the previous slide. They've done the majors and minors. They also do a capstone thesis while they are there. And that thesis can be done individually, or it can be done in a group of 2 or 3 students. We're fine with that. It could be a written project. It could be something that they end up designing as a model, or some performances, or whatever it is that they decide to do. We are open to whatever they want. We will be offering an optional 4th year of advanced studies. This is not an extension of the undergraduate program. This is a separate postgraduate program, which will be open even to students who have done their undergraduation elsewhere. So we will open it up to India at large, and not just for our students. This will be a year when they can dive further into what they have majored in, or it could also mean that they are taking up something entirely different that they've always wanted to. So this will be really an area of a year of research and immersive learning. They will do a sort of a senior thesis while they are here in the 4th year. So the first year courses, I just want you to glance through these, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about them later. The students can tell us what really happened in these classes and how many of them that they've gone through. So the majors and minors, currently we are offering economics, history, literature, pol science, social studies, and arts in the BA honors. In BSc honors, we're giving computer science, biological or life sciences, environmental sciences, mathematics, physics, chemistry, psychology. We are also offering business studies and philosophy as 2 extra minors. So you can't major in these 2, but you can definitely take them up as minors. So, I mean, if you're doing an economics major, a business studies major would help you so much. If in future you want to take up MBA, you want to start your own entrepreneurial venture, or whatever you want to do. In fact, why just economics? Any of the subjects, you take business studies along with it, it makes you so much more ready for, setting up your own thing, or joining the workforce immediately after your undergrad as well. So in fact, if you look at computer science, I think most of the computer science students in India actually start their own ventures after their undergrads. So this kind of a course would really help you. While you're there and while you're studying and doing your majors and minors, we have a lot of support labs. And I just saw a pop-up where somebody asked, do I need to do math? So no, really, we don't have any prerequisites. We don't have any prerequisites for joining any courses at Krea. And your choice of majors will be purely based on interest. It has nothing to do with how you perform in your foundation course, right? We will have our own math bridge courses. We will have our own language bridge courses, and we will definitely have science bridge courses. So whatever you choose to do later, you will have help as to whatever bridging that needs to be done. So we've tied up with the Dalai Lama Center for Ethics. We've tied up with social businesses. So all this is to sort of introduce and reintroduce, affirm and reaffirm all the, concepts that we are introducing in the foundation course of ethics, of being socially conscious of how you impact the world, and how much you can contribute to it. So we are very hopeful that our students will become very purposeful and impactful leaders. The CWP is something that will help students in their communication skills. It'll also be a center that reaches out to other institutions and universities across India and the world with its different kinds of programs that it'll run. The students have all the support that they need in terms of all the labs that are on campus. So yes, I did talk about the learning experiences immersive. We are going to bring in a lot of internships, partnerships towards their, career enhancement, which will help them understand and how the real world sort of integrates with the academic world. We have a few partnerships with universities, with governmental organizations, we have, so if we look at really partnerships at Krea, our partnerships are not simple, very broad-based, MOUs that say, okay, Krea has an MOU with so-and-so university, and let's see how that works out. So our partnerships are very strategically, designed and curated to provide to our students the opportunities for, career enhancement, for community relationship building, for their careers, for competencies, for curriculum development. So if you look at the Dalai Lama Center for Ethics and Transformational Learning, we'll realize that that center will come in the beginning in the foundation courses, introduce our students to really start thinking about ethics, and then it'll keep coming back into all the classes. So the center will also train the teachers to bring in these questions into their classrooms. Similarly, if our students are really interested in going for summer abroad, we have tie-ups with, say, the Utrecht Summer School. We have the King's College summer programs. We've got tie-ups with the James Cook University, with UCC Ireland, with the American Institute of Indian Studies. So any scholar who's wanting to study the Indian civilization is also going to be hosted and supported by Krea University. So all these partnerships, and there are many, many more to come, will ensure that we have tie-ups for curriculum, where our curriculum is being helped by experts from across the world, where our students have opportunity to go for summer and maybe even semester opportunities abroad, where we have tie-ups, where there are research projects together, where our faculty is going for exchange programs abroad. So all these are going to come together, and we are keeping our fingers crossed. Once we cross this coronavirus outbreak and COVID, and we're over with it, we'll follow it up with the other tie-ups that we were, in the process of almost finalizing. And we'll be, if you watch the space on the website, there'll be a lot more partnership details coming up there. So Krea's faculty is drawn from some of the best organizations across the world. And if you can read the list over here, we do have very, very eminent scholars on campus. And these people are not just, best in teaching or best in their own subject, but they're also great mentors. Our student faculty ratio is really, really small. Last year, we had about 113 students joining, and we had about 30 faculty members. So that's a very small, one-on-one kind of learning. In fact, before even the students join the campus, we assign a guide or a mentor to them who's a faculty member. And each faculty member will not have more than 4 to 5 students to mentor. And when the student later in the second year chooses a major, then he gets a guide or a mentor from his department or from his discipline. In fact, we don't really have departments in Krea because we so strongly believe in interwoven learning and, disciplines talking to each other, coming into each other's classrooms, that we have divisions. We just have 3 broad divisions: the arts and the sciences and the humanities. And, each one of them are going to really talk to each other, go into each other's classrooms. While a history class is going on, a data science professor may walk in and, talk how history and data analytics, really come together. Or a mathematics professor would talk about ethics in class. So we'll have a lot of coming together of different disciplines, related disciplines definitely, also seemingly unrelated disciplines being taught together. And maybe even joint majors, maybe even majors that are co-taught by professors. So that's really, how we imagine learning should be. And that's how it'll make them be better at whatever they become. So an economist who has also understood political science and a bit of humanities and psychology will definitely be a better economist, right? We in our whole in our whole idea of bringing together the industry and the academia, we invite a lot of guest lecturers to come to our campus and engage with our students. They range from performers to artists to economists to professors to political scientists, data analytics. So we get a lot of people from the NGO sector, from the industry, and from the governmental organizations to come and speak to our students, to give them the kind of exposure and help them understand also what kind of career pathways they can look at later when they move on from Krea. Yes, talking about moving on from Krea, I don't think the Krea curriculum is designed to really train them to become, to go into a particular career pathway, but really be successful at whatever they want to do. Yes, we do have a business school. Krea has two schools. One is the business school and one is the School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences, the one that we are talking about today. The business school does have a placement agency, which a placement cell which helps them get good jobs after their course. But for the undergraduates, we have a career development cell, a career services cell, which is really going to work with you from day one, helping you understand what kind of courses you should take up, what kind of internships you should do, what kind of projects you should do, just so that you are on the way to what you really want to be, whether it's in the corporate sector, whether it's a performing arts or a social sector or the government or wherever it is that you want to go. Or maybe you want to go directly to study higher. And all of that, Krea will support you, the career services will support you in getting to where you really want to go. Right? I'll be so happy to quickly go through this and get Ananya and Arnav to talk about this. But yes, we have a fantastic class of 113 students who were the first founding class. They were drawn from across 17 states and 3 countries. A larger portion, I think 60% of the batch is girls. But that's not to say that it wasn't by design, it just so happened. And they are very, very accomplished students who have done a lot even before they came and joined Krea. And we hope that, they will pass out through the portals of Krea as very, very impactful leaders as they move on from here. There is a very, very vibrant campus which has thought about student life in depth and is continuing to do so. I say the students are a huge part of how the student life has taken shape. We only did a small bit of thinking before they joined us, and we waited for them to join and sort of build the student life from scratch. So the students have built for themselves a student government. They are also writing a constitution on their own. They've got some 18 or 19 clubs now already, which range from music, theater, quizzing, media, literary. There's even a club for conversations, which is so interesting. They celebrate, they celebrate all the festivals on campus. They're doing art installations. They've sort of found areas on the campus where, they are painting and they are creating beautiful artworks on the walls. We are going to find more places for them to do that. But whatever happens within these clubs is really designed and follows a particular theme. So there may be a theme of, say, diversity. So all clubs will have activities which are related to diversity. They may even come together, a couple of clubs may come together to maybe do a performance around the theme. So these central themes continue every month. And, there are themes like creativity and gender and, diversity and community and so on and so forth. So this campus itself is a 40-acre campus. We are situated in Sri City, which is about 70 kilometers from Chennai. So Chennai is the closest, largest airport that we have. And if you need to come to the campus, you need to first fly into Chennai. And from Chennai, you can go by road. We have our own shuttles. Students can go to Chennai over the weekends. And really, depending on how many students want to go, we arrange for those many buses. There are also some lovely spots around the campus. In fact, you don't have to go as far as Chennai to really enjoy. There are waterfalls, there are hiking trails, there's a beautiful lake that gets migratory birds, and it's really a beautiful area. The Sri Harikota is really close to the campus as well. So it has a beautiful library which has 30,000 books, online resources. We have tie-ups with many other databases so that our students can even reach out and look at those and read those books without even having to, step out of the campus itself. The sports facilities, yes, we have most of the sports facilities. We've got football, cricket, volleyball, basketball, futsal, badminton courts, table tennis. We've got indoor sports where children can sit and engage, sort of hang around with each other. There are student lounges, there are interaction zones. We have all the conveniences, the convenience store, the ATM, a salon, a coffee shop. All that is available on campus, and a beautiful, beautiful residential block as well. So, like I mentioned, learning at Krea is so interactive, is so dynamic, it's so engaging that we had to put in a lot of areas where students could sit together and discuss. And we know that academic conversations also flow outside the classroom. You'll find teachers sitting in the garden and engaging with the students. You'll find students discussing and debating in student lounges. So, learning is not really limited to the classroom, but it really flows out. The facilities on campus, yes, it's a secure campus. It's got perimeter fencing, which is up to 15 meters of height. We've got CCTV monitoring. We've got biometric systems. So students punch in and punch out when they leave. If you ask about the hostel rooms, they are air conditioned with attached bathrooms on a twin sharing basis. We've got laundry services, and the rooms are pretty well equipped. We have counselors coming on board. We've got a medical center where the doctor comes every day. We've got a nurse throughout the day. We've got our own ambulance. And like I said, our students can even leave the campus and go to Chennai if they want over the weekends, and we arrange for those transports. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. Not a large part of it is built, and some of it is left the way it is, very natural. We have water bodies throughout. We have running tracks around it, and it's really pretty, some of the pictures I'm sharing here with you. Before we move on to, before I give the stage to students, I'll just briefly like to run you through the admissions process. The admissions process at Krea is really very, very holistic. We are looking at not just your academics. We are looking at your academics. We're looking at your co-curricular. We're looking at extracurriculars. We're looking at anything you may have done within your school classrooms or outside of it. So nothing that you share with us is small and of less importance. Everything that you share about yourself, about your personal journey in life, all of it is important, and all of it is taken into consideration when we look to make an offer to you. So we are really building a class. We are looking at diversity, not just geographically. We look at economic diversity. We look at diversity of thought. We look at diversity of interests. So that's why our admissions process is so very rigorous and a little, extended and tedious. It's because we want to know every aspect of you and whether you will fit into a class at Krea or not. So it's very important for us to get to know you even before you join, right? So that's why our process is so very long drawn. We used to do this in a physical space, but we have now moved it online, and I'll come to that when we come to the next slide. But I also want to tell you that we are always operating with a selection mindset, which means that we are not really looking to reject you, but we are looking of reasons to call you and engage with you. So anything in your application that stands out to us, it could be your excellent academics, it could be your excellent, extracurricular engagements, it could be your essay which really moves us. Whatever it is that stands out, we are going to call you for the second stage, right? And we are also, however merit-driven we are in our selection process, in the financial aid or the scholarships, if you may call it, we are need blind. So we will, we are need blind, and we will offer need-based scholarships, which means that we will look at your family income. We look at what is your, how much can you afford, and the rest of it we'll try to cover for you. Okay. So while the first stage really looks at your academics and what you've done at your school level, our second stage is really designed to look at, if you can look at this graphic on my screen, which says we're looking at creativity, open-mindedness, curiosity, empathy, and teamwork. These are the values that we are really looking to, catch in the second round. So if you look at the process, the first is an online application. We've already done 2 rounds of that. We've received a lot of applications, and where we'll ask you to write a personal story. It'll be really your journey in life and how you see yourself at Krea. Then your academic scores from school, any co-curricular projects that you've done. It could be something that you've loved doing, or some project that you did towards any one academic area. Or a couple of those you want to mention. It could be some tests that you've taken, whatever you want to share with us in your academics, right? Then your extracurriculars, then your personal details. And basis all this, we will shortlist you. If we find your application interesting, we will call you for the second round. Now, the second round was really the immersion, which we used to do offline. We used to take you on a field trip, and the faculty would present you with a case over there, and we saw how you really engaged with the case. Now, given the situation now, all this has been moved online. So all this has been moved online, and we will still do a case study basis engagement, where we will present a case to you. You will write a reflective essay on the case. You will still be in groups and break up into groups and do group activities around the case. There will be conversations with our faculty members. There will be a short quantitative and logical reasoning test. This is a short multiple choice question test, which is really based on mathematics up to class 10th level and not after that. And when you've done all that, we are really looking at so many data points. We are picking up data from your application. We are picking up data from how you engaged during the immersion day. We are putting all those together in a metric, and then we decide whether we want you to come in or not, or whether we can offer you right away, or we need to defer you till the end of the cycle, or we tell you that, we're sorry, you're not making the cut. So no single score, whether it is your school grades or whether it's your SAT or whether it's your essay that you write, will guarantee you an entrance into Krea. It's all the scores put together in totality, which give us an idea of your, a sort of an internal score that we come to, and it's only basis that we offer. So no one parameter can get you an acceptance or a rejection. It's all of them put together. So no cutoffs in any school scores, no cutoff in SATs at all. So we've completed, like I said, 2 rounds. We are taking in applications for the 3rd round. The second round immersions still have to happen, and will happen very quickly now, as soon as the lockdown opens, and it'll be online, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can sit in your homes and do it. I'll just take questions after this, if you could just wait for those. The fee structure I'm putting up online, and you can see we charge about 6.5 lakhs per annum for tuition, and we charge 1.2 or 1.5, sorry. I'm sorry, this has been revised, so it's 6.75 per annum and 1.5 as your living expenses. But we also offer need-based financial aid. So our fees is not really a number, it's a range. Some students are paying paying the full 6.75 lakhs per annum. There are other students who are paying nothing. Then there are some students who are paying 20% or 30 or 40 or 70% of the fee, right? So the fees really depends on, one, that you ask for financial assistance. If you have asked for financial assistance, we will figure out, looking at your family income, your family assets and expenses and dependents, and there'll be a form that we'll ask you to fill. Basis that, we'll decide how much is your need and how much do we need to waive off. So we waived off the full fees for almost 20 students in the first batch. Not only that, we also help them with their expenses. If required, we'll cover for their travel expenses. So whatever is required, Krea is committed to, cover those expenses. So I don't think you should worry about the fee and think it's a little high. But yes, you should be mentally more prepared to take on the admissions process. And then later, the fee is something that you can have a conversation with our financial aid department and really work out what. So if you look at anyone whose family income is below 10 lakhs a year, they have the opportunity to get up to 100% of tuition fees, right? Anyone between 10 and 50 lakhs can get up to 75%. Now, I'm saying can get because we will look at so many factors when we offer financial assistance. How many dependents are there, or what is your income, what is your expenses, what are your assets, a lot of those, right? So the more than 50 lakhs, we will not offer. We will not be able to offer any financial aid. So somebody just asked, when does round 3 close? Round 3 closes on May 17th, right? With this, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to ask Ananya and Arnav to switch on their, mics and their videos. Can you just share with us some of your experiences on campus? You were the first batch, so I think it was a big leap of faith. It was very brave of you to join a university which was just starting out. So if you can mention in few lines what your experience has been and your best times here, please, we'd love to hear from you.
So I'm Arnav. I'm a first year student at the School of Interior and Arts and Sciences. I'm from Mumbai. I went to B.D. Somani International School. So I'm currently a part with Ananya of the student government, and we both are representatives of the academic committee. My experience at Krea has been amazing. It was obviously a risk to come in, for the first batch, and we really didn't know what to expect as such. But I think it's turned out really well, and I think the biggest takeaway is that you get to build the university. So whether it be the clubs, whether it be the student government, whether it just be the culture of building here, it's something that you don't get to do on an everyday basis. So that's been something that's been a real highlight for me. On top of all of that, like I've been like super happy with the club structures and the clubs at Krea. Like I can assure you this, that I would never have ever joined the choir or the dance club. But like out here at Krea, everyone's so inclusive that I actually do jazz, I do ballet. I actually take part in the dance club because no one's really judging you. And even the choir, despite having a terrible voice, I mean, that's the whole fun, right? Because everyone's just motivating you and everyone's just here to, have fun together. So about the clubs, I'll say it's the community, in fact, in general, at Krea is very inclusive in nature. You won't feel left out if because it's a small community and it's quite tight knit. Even if you're, just walking into the dining hall and you basically don't see anyone, you'll always find one person, even if you're sitting alone or with a group of friends, you can just join in and, have a conversation with or just eat dinner with or lunch. So I think that's about that. In terms of academics, I would say, I think I saw a few questions regarding the curriculum and things like that. I would say, so I've done so far, I'm in my last trimester right now, I'm doing 4 courses right now, which is Intro to CS, Design Thinking, Literature and the Arts. So the basic structure which I've been seeing, and ethics, I'm sorry. So the basic thing that I've been seeing is that they want to interview everything, right? So what I see is that a lot of my readings, and for instance, ethics, correlates with design thinking. So for instance, we're talking about this whole idea of altruism and things around these lines. But in design thinking, we're seeing, we're talking about behavioral economics, and we're seeing, case studies of places where, you have to give malaria nets and stuff like this. So I would say a lot of the curriculum ties in well together, the readings tie in well together, and it's relevant. So for instance, in data analytics last trimester, we have to analyze, a data set of the NSSO, which had Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, and we had to see the expenditure of around 50,000 odd people. And it's, real world data. So I feel like the biggest takeaway that you're going to have in your public Krea is how relevant everything is. If you're having a question in specific that, you all want me to answer, any of the experiences, I'd be more than happy to, sort that out.
I'm looking at the questions right now, and there's somebody who's asking me about the business school. I'm really sorry because today's conversation is about the School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences. But if we really need to talk, if we really need to know how our business school is different, we are the curriculum at business school also has been completely revamped. You know, it's a business school which is 17 years old. They've been offering MBA and PhD degrees for a long time. And right now, the curriculum is going through a big haul. It's become more interdisciplinary. We are, also looking at interwoven learning at the business school level, where the students will also engage with subjects like ethics and data. And, in fact, if you go to the website and you read up about it, you realize it's an institution which is very well respected, especially for its finance-related courses. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that right now. I'll encourage you to please reach out to us separately, offline, so that we can talk more about the business school. About what skill courses or skill subjects have been offered. I think I did share that earlier, but just to let you know once more. I know. So I'm just reading it out from there. We have literature and arts. We have mathematical reasoning. We have social analysis and historical immersion. We have scientific reasoning. We have philosophical perspectives. We've got creative expression. So all these are a part of the core courses. Then we have the skill courses. In the skill courses, we have writing and oral communication. We have introduction to topics in computer science. We have data analytics. We've got design thinking and ethics. And you'll find details about these all on the website. So please do visit the website to be able to read up more about these. And SAT scores we accept, yes. It's very clearly given on our admission criteria page. We do, but it's not mandatory. There is no cutoff, definitely. It's not mandatory. It's another data point that gives us confidence in your academic abilities. But if you don't have SAT scores, you needn't worry, because then we'll just pick up your academics from, say, your school grades or from the way that you're engaging in the case study. And so it's not mandatory at all. Yes? And there is no minimum, of course. So somebody's asked us what would be different when doing a course at Krea, IFMR, and say an economics and business study course at SIS. So SIS is an undergraduate program and the business school courses are all masters. So they're different, yes. That is a very industry specific and business related, management related course, whereas the undergraduate is really, getting arts and sciences together with having an eye on, business studies, which knowing how your discipline can sort of, be used, how you can sort of have business ideas in your discipline, right? So if you're studying maybe philosophy and you're studying business along with it, it'll help you later to set up your own ventures. It'll help you set up, or maybe have a more professional or industrial understanding while you are working in your area, right? So it's really an undergraduate course. It's just a minor. It's not a professional MBA degree. So that's how they are different. When is the entrance test? Because of the lockdown, we had to postpone all our, immersive cases. We've converted everything into online. As soon as these 21 days get over, we run marathon online entrance exams. If you want to call it an entrance exam, it's really an engagement. We'll do those over 3 or 4 days, and we'll finish off all the immersions for the second round. For the third round, we are still continuing to take applications. We'll finish on the 17th. And after the 17th, we are going to again evaluate those applications and then give further dates for the online second stage whenever that happens. Right? Immersion day will be very different, yes. If it is, it'll be different from what it was on field. I think nothing can replace the one-on-one engagement, the energy that we share during our field visits. We can't, but we have to, all of us are in this together. We have to do the best that we can. But what I want to assure you is that we are not going to compromise on any of the parameters that we were evaluating. We are not going to compromise on the quality. So it'll be a combination of, say, videos and presentations and voiceovers, and we'll try to recreate a nice case study where you will be pushed to think and comprehend and bring in your perspectives in a similar way as you would have in a real life case which we are taking you to on ground. So it will be different, but I won't say that it will be any less. Right? Is there a set number of seats for the second batch? There is no set number of seats, but we are hoping to get anywhere between, say, 150 to 175 and maybe a little more students, good students whom we would love them to be a part of a batch. And we have received a lot of applications, but we have to see the right fit. We have to see who would be a great fit at Krea, right? So it's really about that. How does Krea prepare me for the graduate studies in my field? It's an honors course for one, and also this kind of a course has both the breadth and the depth. Not only are you doing a deep dive into your specialization, you're also learning a lot more. So it's a graduation plus, I would say. If you're looking to do economics at Krea, or physics or whatever, you're studying physics, but you're also studying so many other subjects and getting so much more and a greater understanding of your subject. So you're really better placed than 90% of the other graduates from the country who will have done a single focused course. You'll have great communication skills, you'll have great data analytics skills, you'll be very well educated, you'll have a broad perspective. So if it comes at some point between the choice between you and any other students, I don't see any recruiter or any higher education recruiter, saying no to somebody like you and picking up the other person. So your chances of getting into more elite schools and elite organizations definitely goes up if you study at a place like Krea. Our career guidance cell will help you work on, say, your applications, on where you should study, how you should study, and how you reach that goal. So suppose you already have something in mind that I want to do this when I go out of Krea. So your guide, your mentor, as well as the cell are going to work with you to help you get those, get those internships, make sure that you do those projects so that you are really prepared for your graduate studies. For example, you are really excited about the environmental sciences. We have a tie-up with the James Cook University, right? James Cook University is known for its environmental science programs. So you never know, you could just end up going there, working marine, studying marine biology for a semester, and that will really add to your CV, to your resume, or your profile when you're applying for your masters for environmental sciences anywhere in India or abroad, anywhere. So it's your work in progress from day one to the last day. What are you going to, how are you preparing yourself for the world ahead? Right? Whether it's studies or whether it's working or whether it's really doing anything in the social sector or wherever. So how do we determine the GPA for each student? I was actually speaking to a couple of faculty members before that, and I can, Ananya and Arnav, please correct me. They said that there are always two components to, there are two components to how we evaluate students. So one would be, one would be really how they have performed at a particular evaluation. But the other is also their graph of what is their learning graph, how much have they learned. So both of those, one is from the understanding of the faculty and one is hard scores which are getting picked up from their evaluations. Both are put together and that's how you get a GPA. Right? So SAT scores, again, I think a lot of sad questions, but I think I've really answered whatever. We do have, the criteria given online as well. Will I be able to do a double major in mathematics and physics? Well, a double major is theoretically possible, which means you might have to take up a lot more courses than other people are doing. What you could do is you could take one as a major and one as a minor in your first 3 years. maybe stay back the fourth year and complete the major in the second one. So that's the easiest way to do it, right? You've done a major and a minor in the first 3 years. The fourth year you use to convert the minor also into another major, and yes, that is possible. Can I take more than 35 courses? If you can manage, definitely, why not? In the coming years, we may even open up some courses during the summer. So that will also help you take more courses, free up your semester time so that you can, do a lot more than that. But 35 is definitely required. And we're not close to it. We're not close to students wanting to do more. It's not like, this is it and there's going to be no dialogue about it. If in fact, even in all matters, our students and our student government is a part of many of the decisions that are taken place, and we are very open to feedback. We are very open to taking these cases one by one.
So just to add on regarding the courses, so Krea is trying to introduce a few one-credit courses also. So like most of your courses, the first you have 3 credit courses, and your second and third you have 4 credit courses. But if you do want to take like let's say crash courses in astronomy, or if you want to do film appreciation, there are 1 credit courses you could take. And regarding what Ms. Kanchi was saying, there are 2 things that come into our transcripts. One is the learning trajectory, and one is the academic trajectory. So GPA is out of 10, and it's basically calculated based on all the assessments and your exams and group projects. But the good thing about Krea is that it's not exam heavy; it's project heavy. So that way, the GPA is a lot more collaborative in nature rather than individual.
And have you figured out the?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So sorry for the confusion.
Have you online? Yeah. Please go ahead. Is there anything you'd like to share?
No, so I just wanted to, as far as the academic evaluation is concerned, I just wanted to say how it's very holistic in nature. And I think that's one of the biggest points. I think there was one question about Krea having an edge over Ashoka and Flame. And if there's one thing I think that really stands out is the entire way we're evaluated. I mean, it's really personal, and they really, really make an effort to kind of look at every point of view. A lot of times, like, there is no right or wrong.
No problem, ma'am. They can open it.
But they will try to understand your perspective. They will try to like give you that kind of personal attention, and that I think you don't get anywhere else. So that's really brilliant.
Somebody says I have taken psychology as my main subject and wants to know what kind of subjects will she be studying within psychology. I'm just going to ask you to wait for a week or so. We are putting up detailed curriculum of all the majors online. I think most of them are up, but psychology, yes, is one of the few ones that are still left. We will in detail put up, the entire curriculum. It's just happening as we speak. A rough approximate of number of applicants. I wouldn't want to share that really, because we don't go with a target in mind saying we need this many applicants, and we don't do marketing. If you know. There is no marketing team at Krea. There's just a small 2 or 3 of us who do outreach, which is just letting people know that we are there. And so we don't have any targets to say we have to get X number of applications or whatever. Whatever comes in, we will evaluate and we will offer to whoever we feel is a suitable candidate. But it's not only us choosing, it's also the candidate choosing us, because we are looking at very, very bright and exceptionally smart students to come in. So those students have to choose Krea as well, right? So it's a two-way thing, and we are hoping to get a class of about 175. So we'll be happy if we can reach anywhere between 150 and 155.
Kanchi, I think you missed 2 questions. One was about, so somebody is asking whether the 4th year is optional, and second is, do you accept IBDP scores?
So yes, we do accept IBDP scores. International school, a lot of students are applying to us from international schools. We accept the diploma students. We are also open to looking at certificate students. We are also open to looking at people who are doing the career program, IB career program. So all 3 are open. You can apply to us. We will evaluate you in the similar way that we would evaluate anyone from the national curriculums. So yes, we are open to all boards. We are open to people who are private working, NIOS. So anything that is equivalent to a grade 12, we will be happy to look at your application. So there are no no's to there. So anything that has been recognized as by the Indian Universities Association as a grade 12 equivalent, they are all open to applying to Krea, right? So, sorry, what is your placement
Second question was
percentage?
about the fourth year being optional.
Yeah, and also about the optional fourth year. Yes, it is an optional fourth year. Like I told you that we are, this fourth year is going to be open not just to our students, but to anyone who has done graduation even from anywhere else. Obviously, there will be an entrance like we have for this. And if you make the cut, then definitely you can join. This could be a research-based program. This could be purely academic. It's really how you want to take it. So there's a lot of freedom and flexibility over there. It's a postgraduate diploma. It's not an undergraduate program, right? It's not an extension of it, but it's really how you can do it. But for our graduates, if they are looking to convert their minors into majors, that will also be something they'll be able to do. About the placement percentage, really, Meenakshi, I can't say that because our first batch has just finished their first year. So when they reach the third year and then they go for placements, that's when I'll really be able to answer that. But given the conversations we've been having with the industry and organizations, there's a lot of interest. A lot of them are coming to offer internships to our students. After the first year, all our students are going to do an internship in the social sector, and so that they understand the kind of impact they can have over here. In the second year, will they start doing industrial internships, right? So in the first year, it'll be more towards social sector, and the second, they can really choose if they want to continue with the social sector, fine. But if they want to do it in the corporate or with the government or whatever, they can really choose whatever they have thought of, right? So the fourth year is optional, definitely, yes. So how do the students get selected for the student government? Arnab, can you tell us, please?
Yeah, sure. So for the first year, there was an interim structure put in place by the whole student body. So it was an election method where you basically, create your manifesto and present it in front of the whole student body. After which, like, everyone's done presenting their manifestos, there's a voting process that happens, and then the student body was elected. But the Constituent Assembly is currently creating a constitution which would amend the student government structure and the selection structure. So, if you do come in next year, then most likely will be a different structure in place once the constitution gets approved.
And Ananya, maybe you could talk about the sports on campus. I don't know if you play, but maybe just about the facilities a little bit.
Yeah, so can I be heard?
Yes, absolutely.
So the sports on campus right now, like it's still developing, and so that's the thing. All the teams are getting curated, but we already have a lot of sports that are getting mobilized, and people are looking at going for inter-college competitions and stuff. So the four major sports which have been doing really well are basketball, cricket, football, badminton. We also have volleyball, throw ball, and stuff which are upcoming. A lot of students are interested in TT, interested in well, they're planning to build some sort of a court for a proper court for volleyball. There are other facilities for indoor sports like pool, TT, foosball, and things like that. But as far as the outdoor sports are concerned, these four are the ones that are being concentrated on right now. But we are trying to get tie-ups for a swimming pool since we don't have a swimming pool on this campus. We are trying to get a tie-up such that students can go to Chennai and use the swimming pool facility over the weekends or during at least once a week and things like that. So all that is in the process, but yeah.
So do you also have coaches coming on campus?
So we do. So we have coaches for all four of these sports that come 4 times a week. So two coaches, two times a week. We have them coming in, and you have team training as well as for anyone interested in the sport itself. So I think one of the most holistic aspects of Krea, which you can see really in the student body, is that, for example, even so the coaches are obviously coming in, and there are these trainings that go on regularly on a weekly basis. But there are lots of students who have taken the initiative of training other students and giving them that kind of exposure. And since we are in a stage on campus right now, where we're putting a lot of teams together. It's really giving everyone the opportunity to explore those avenues that they previously didn't get to explore. And the entire peer learning thing really comes out even in the aspect of sports. And it's really nice to see it even outside the classroom.
Great, fantastic. So somebody's asked us what are the number of seats available in the biology course. Like I mentioned, we don't take you into courses. We take you into a single badge or foundation course, and it's later you decide what you want to do. And if after the first year you still want to join the biology class, then you're most welcome to do so. There are no set numbers of how many seats per course. So even if there are 5 students who wish to take up the life sciences, then the life sciences major will definitely continue with those. About results getting delayed, we are very cognizant of that. We know that most results are getting delayed. So don't worry, just fill in your application, send us your predicted grades. We'll evaluate it on the basis of that. And whenever your scores come in, you send it to us. These are very special and difficult times for all of us, and we understand. But we just want to reassure you that admissions is happening. It's continuing the way it should be. And we will wait for your scores to come. So you don't worry. We will make you the offer, and we will wait for the scores whenever they come in. So you're not alone. The whole country is in it together, and not just Andhra, but all boards have sort of delayed their results. Don't worry about it. So can we choose psychology part of BSc and humanities? Yes, you can. You can choose one science subject as a major and another as a humanity, or the other way around. Yes, you can do that, right? Yes, so Arnav has been receiving some questions. Arnav, I'll just hand over to you. Why don't you answer the questions that have come to you?
Yeah, so I think one was the student government question. The other question was the major that I'm doing. So I'm planning to do a double major in economics and computer science. I think another question that I got was regarding the faculty. So how approachable are they? So I just want to share an experience like in general, like if you do have any questions, doubts, anything, there's always a time you can just walk in. So they have office hours, the faculty, where you can just walk into the office and, just have a conversation with them or, just talk about whatever you want to. So there's no like restriction or something. That's super approachable. And if you have ideas you want to discuss, regarding your personal life, maybe an entrepreneurship project or anything, that maybe a startup that you're pursuing, they're more than happy to help out. In fact, a lot of the faculty are here doing research, so they're in their office till 9:30. So I've been there a lot of times, at 8:30 or 9, just walking in, and you can just have a conversation with them about anything you like. So they're very approachable. And another question I got was, are all of the faculties living on campus? So some faculty, at least I would say a good amount of them live on campus. Monday to Friday, you'll see a majority of them. Saturday and Sunday, some of them go to Chennai, some of them go to their homes in Sri City, which is not more than 10 minutes away. But you'll usually see them on campus. So that's one thing I would, want to clarify.
If there is a website that showcases the academic and extracurricular achievements of the students, how does the student supposed to reach it to the admissions office? So if you're wondering how you'll come to know about what students are doing on campus, I think I got your question right. In fact, I'd like to share with you that we have now, with us, along with the outreach team, we have a group of students who are helping us reach out, especially in times like this when it's difficult to travel. These students will host another webinar where they will exclusively talk to you, and there won't be me or anyone else from the team. They will share their experiences and answer your questions as to how academic life or extracurricular life at the campus looks like. They are also accessible. We'll be putting out on the website email IDs and phone numbers that you can call and speak to current students. So if that's what you're really looking to connect to more students and ask them about maybe courses in particular, then yes, that will be available. Just allow us a little time, maybe 4 or 5 days, and we'll put up this information. And in fact, now that you have subscribed to us via a webinar, we will send you this detailed information over mail as well. Does the environmental studies major require students who have taken science in the 11th and 12th? No, we have no prerequisites. You can come in with whatever subject choices you had. Our evaluation system, our admissions process, like I told you, is looking at really how you think and what kind of a person you are, and whether you are a learner, and whether this kind of environment, academic or otherwise, will be suitable for you and for us to have you contribute to the class. And we're not really looking at your specific knowledge that you may have picked up in 11th and 12th. Right? So don't worry, if you didn't have science in 11th and 12th, you can still do environmental sciences or any other science at Krea. No, it doesn't focus only on sciences. There will be a lot of choices. There will be many subjects or many courses that will be offered under the environmental sciences, and you can really choose which ones you want to do. But you know, as we see, the world is moving on and becoming very, very computational in nature. So you know, it's very difficult to now segregate and say this is humanities or this is more of sciences. It's a good idea to study both of them together. Right? Again, there are detailed questions about the curriculum of particular courses. I'll still request you to go online, visit the website, the academic section, click on the major that you want to know about. There is a broad description on what we will be teaching you. Sometimes even the electives are given there. So please do check that out. That will help you get a better understanding of what the subject would look like at Krea. The admissions for 2021, we will open most probably in November. That's when we always do. Generally, we start around the first week of November. We'll try to pull it back to October this year. If we can't, because even this cycle is getting delayed, we'll definitely open in November. So November 2020, we'll start admissions for 21. So see, Krea has just started out. We are a Haryana state university under the Haryana Act of Private Universities. We are listed on the UGC website. We have provided whatever information UGC required from us. UGC will do an inspection after 2 years, and we will get UGC approved. AICTE and those approvals are not something that we are seeking right now. But yes, our courses will be accepted in all other institutions across the country and abroad. So you can even sit for the civil services after doing your undergraduation from here. You can do your master's anywhere in any of the colleges, whether private or government. You can apply for jobs outside. You can do all of that because our courses are absolutely approved. Right? We are authorized to give out these degrees, and these degrees are acceptable. Summer programs we really haven't started as yet. We wanted to this year, but the way things are going, I don't think we'll be able to offer it this summer, but definitely we're looking at next summer. The placement cell for the business school has a placement cell. The undergraduates have a career development cell. The business school has 100% placement, yes, for the last so many years. The undergrads are still in the first year. When they reach the third year, that's when we start placing them. And that's when I can give you this. Campus tours, we've been organizing very regularly. So there's always been one curated campus tour every week. We've shut them down so as to protect the community, the Krea community, and the people visiting the campus, so that nobody gets infected. But as soon as we are over this incident of the COVID-19 and things are normal again, we'll start the campus tours again. But I would request you, please do not don't travel just to see the campus. I think some of our students have put up videos of the campus online. There are videos which show the campus in parts on the YouTube channel of Krea. Please look at that for now. It's a beautiful campus. It's very well equipped. It's a great learning ecosystem. Look at all that, but please hold on your campus tour till things are better and we are all not at risk. Yes, so I understand the A-level Cambridge programs were cancelled, not just in Mumbai, in many other places as well. So you will be getting a score, as far as I know, based on your performance in school for the entire year. There will not be an exam, correct me if I'm wrong, yes? If you feel that for some reason your academics will take a dip, don't forget to mention that reason in your application. So one is the essay that you write. There is also another place where you can share with us any challenge or anything that you think that we should know about you. Please mention why you think your academics may take a dip. Okay, don't worry about that. We know that these are difficult times, and we will take everything into our mind while we are evaluating. Right. The internship opportunities, yes, Ananya, I think you can answer that. We did have a lot of internships fixed for this summer. Unfortunately, they've got cancelled. But Ananya, would you like to talk about some of the opportunities that you guys got?
Absolutely. So we had internships of three kinds, basically. The first two, one was a community intensive internship, which looks at, well, actually getting engaged with different communities from different backgrounds. And the second one was a research intensive internship, which actually looked at having research opportunities with professors in Krea and in their individual projects. And the third option that students had was obviously going to summer schools abroad and attending courses abroad. So one thing that Krea very strongly encourages is have in the first year, at least until you don't 100% decided, is engaging in community, because it really inculcates values which are part of Krea's ethos, like empathy and open-mindedness, and actually dealing with different people and different people from different backgrounds. But like Kanchi mentioned, because of the whole COVID thing, now we aren't really sure which all places we can go to, because one of the most important aspect of this internship was it was not just based in our cities, but we had opportunities all over the country. So there were opportunities in Gangtok, there were opportunities in Rishikesh, there were opportunities in villages in Rajasthan, there were opportunities in villages in West Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh, all over the country. As far as the summer schools abroad were concerned, we had summer schools in the UK. We had it in NTU and University College Cork. And we had one program in U Chicago, which was a program in policy and data science. But all these are probably on a halt right now because of COVID. So those were the possible summer opportunities that we had been offered.
Okay, great. Somebody here asked me, if they can, again, there are a lot of questions about double major, and I think I've really addressed those. If you're looking to apply, when is the last date to apply? It's 17th May. And, and we may, in case the students still are not able to apply to us for some reason, we may open up a fourth round. We may just extend the deadline or open up a fourth round. We really haven't taken that decision yet, but for now, the last day to apply is May 17th. There's still many days, and right now your exams are not happening, so I think it's a great idea to finish your application now, right? So, and not to worry about, how we'll do the online assessment. We will make sure that it doesn't sort of overlap with your exams. You can always ask for a reschedule if it does. If your exam results are deferred, we will wait for your results. So not to worry on those counts at all. Right? Extracurriculars, yes, are given a lot of importance. We do want well-rounded students and students who have engaged with other interests as well as studying for their board exams. Yes. But we get a lot of applications from students who are probably preparing for the competitive, exams, and then they later realize that, they would rather look at a holistic kind of education system. Sometimes they've not done extracurriculars for the last 2 years of their high school, which is fine. So if you had some strong interests before that, you can write about those, right?
Kanchi, just one question that I got on a personal chat.
Please answer that. Yeah, please.
No, I actually, it says that the student finished his board exams this year, but was not able to choose 2020 as the year for graduation on the admission portal. So is it okay if he writes on the admission portal that he hasn't given his board exams yet, although he's finished it?
Yeah, let him write that. Why is he not able to say year of graduation 2020? He's not able to do that.
Yeah, apparently that option isn't working.
Okay, so why don't you write back to us and we'll take your query to the admissions team and we'll see see to it that it's resolved from the back end. Don't worry about it at all.
Someone says 2020 is not an option on the portal, so I think that.
That's odd because that's the batch that we're taking in. So it's probably got locked for him for some reason, and maybe a technical glitch. We'll work on it. While I was answering another of the questions, I'm sorry I said we come under the Haryana Act. I'm sorry we don't. We come under the Andhra State Private Universities Act. I'm so sorry about that. There's another question around, I'm contemplating law. Is it a good idea to go to Krea? Yes, I think it is, because if you look at the law courses globally, people who have done a liberal arts degree are one of the best choices for a law degree later. And law is something which you can take up as an undergraduate program and also as a master's program. But I've seen for degrees like this, and this is my personal view, and yours, there may be other views as well. But when you have a strong domain, and then you do law domain expertise, and then you do your law later on, that really helps you into specializing into an area. So there are law courses specifically for computer scientists or in that area of study. So there are, there'll be copyright programs, and there'll be other things that you study specifically to an area of discipline or to an industry. So when you do a particular undergraduation, which is not just studying law, but maybe in another discipline, maybe another area of study, and then combine it with law, then your job prospects are sort of really well charted out later on. Then you're not at a loss after 5 years thinking, what industry should I go in? Right? So it helps. You could take up things like economics and pol science and study data along with it, and that would really help in your studying law later. So yes, that's one option. There's also the whole integrated programs of 5 years. So you could look at those as well, Arun. So it's really a choice that you'll have to make, because if you're at Krea and doing your undergraduate, you'll be studying a lot more of other courses also along with it. So, but if you're too really focused on law and you want to do nothing else but law, then maybe you could look at a law college right away. Right. A lot of questions about people who are waiting for their exams results and they are deferred. It's fine, don't worry. And no, we don't have rifle shooting as a sport. If you do come in, if you can introduce it to us, if you can help us understand how easy it is to set up a rifle shooting range, then maybe we'll do it for you. And maybe you can teach it to the rest of the class as well. So that's the best part about Krea. Students join. Sometimes they know something which the others don't. They help others learn it, and as a result, they all get together and form a club. So you could do something like that as well. Cricket coaching, yes. Ananya just mentioned they have coaches here coming in for all of these 4 sports at least. And sports management is not a course right now, no. Cricket coaching or any coaching is for everyone and anyone who would like to take it. In-house faculty, yes, or visiting faculty, we have about 30 faculty members who are full-time faculty members. Along with that, we also have faculty members who are practitioner professionals, meaning that they are practitioners in a particular field, and they also come and teach. But then we have a strong body. In the first year, in fact, we were very careful to take in people who would be full-time faculty committed to building the institution. We didn't want to start with just visiting faculty, because then they have to also commit to building the organization, right? We are starting from scratch. So all our faculty, which we hired in the first year, were full-time faculty. And yes, now we are also bringing in practitioners and visiting faculty from our partner universities. So that will happen also, but a large part of our faculty is completely Krea full-time faculty. Right. Campus visit, like I said, just please hang on for a while. And for the approvals, we are going in for the UGC accreditation right now and nothing else. If you are doing sciences, you can take up a major from sciences and a minor from arts or humanities or the other courses like economics, and you you're fine with it, whatever combination you want to make. This is, you are designing your program at Krea. You are doing what you're interested in doing. You have the, opportunity to pick up whatever courses and whatever combinations you want to do. And you don't have to do a major and minor. You can do a major and you can spread the rest of them across different courses, different electives. You may take 2 in economics and 2 in pol science and 1 in philosophy while you're doing a major in computer science. That's perfectly fine with us. The dates for the upcoming immersions will be communicated within few days. We are just waiting for the lockdown to get over, or whatever it happens. We were waiting for some kind of a communication to understand how our audience will be placed. But yes, not more than a week or so, we'll be announcing the dates. Do visit the website to see and look at the courses that are offered under the majors, please. A lot of people are asking about that. So where is Krea? Krea is about 70 kilometers from the Chennai airport, and it's close to a town called Tada in Andhra Pradesh. So if you're visiting Krea from nearby, you can take a train to Tada. If you're flying in from far away, then you fly into Chennai and then take a cab or a local train to Tada again. Internships are sponsored in the sense we are going to look for these internships for you, and we are speaking to many organizations and we are arranging these for you. So it's not like you'll have to go looking for these internships. They might or might not be paid. So an organization might want to pay you some small amount of stipend for it, which is really up to the client, the organization, and not really us. Financial aid is restricted, yes, to people who get a firm offer. No, anyone whom we've made a conditional offer also can apply for financial aid and get an idea of how much they will have to pay if they do join us. Anyone who's selected for immersion, we send out the financial aid form and you fill it in, and then you can get a result about how much you're eligible for. Provisional admission for 2021? No, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that. So we are just recruiting for the intake of 2020 and not 21. If the results are delayed and we are going ahead with our course, we are starting on time, then of course the admissions will be provisional. 2000 and all the technical problems that you're having, that you're not able to fill in your scores, why don't you please write to us at ask@Krea, and we'll make sure that we work in the back end and we get your queries solved at all. If a background in science is not required to pursue, would the level of science studied be very basic? I wouldn't say that, because this is an undergraduate program. We will start with the basics. And the way it's being taught here, it'll be taught in such a comprehensive manner that you wouldn't feel that you haven't studied it earlier in your high school. Especially, I would like to mention that a lot of students were apprehensive about the mathematical course that happens in the foundation course, because a lot of them were coming from backgrounds where they had not done maths in the 11th and 12th, but believe me, they were as comfortable with it as anyone who had done it. So the faculty members know that you may or may not have studied this before, so they'll make sure that they are starting from the basics, and the understanding of the concepts is so beautifully done that you won't feel challenged. But if in case you require a bridge program, that's going to be there also. And you can, I know that faculty members even now are taking classes online, but they are also doing, one-on-one kind of whatever help is required, or academic assistance is required to whatever students, need it. So your guides, your faculty will sit with you and help you bridge whatever gaps will be there. So can I do a law master straight away? Really, you'll have to reach out to organizations that offer the law master. But yes, if you've completed, you're a graduate, you have a BA, and I don't see any reason why you can't do a law straight away. But most students, let me tell you, do look at a little bit of experience in between their undergraduate and masters these days. It helps you appreciate your master courses a lot more. Yoga, yes, yoga classes go on continuously. It's not just for students, but it's for us staff members as well. Yes, these the faculty that we have mentioned are from the one of the good institutions across the world. They are full-time faculty. And why don't you visit the faculty page on our website? You can click on any name, any picture, and the whole profile will show up in what kind of research they are doing, what kind of organizations they have come from, what kind of academic credentials they have. Everything will show up. It will help you, give you a lot more confidence in the kind of people who will be teaching you. We will try to record, we are trying to record this lecture, and yes, we will make it available later. No, the classes will not be rushed. If we have to postpone it, we will make sure that we structure them in a way that we are not rushing you through the curriculum, and that's actually against the whole philosophy of a liberal learning university, where we want to give you time to think, to contemplate, to really engage with the discipline. Whatever you are reading, you read not just the content, you read the context along with it. For that, it's very important for us that we give you time to do readings, we give you time to really understand, comprehend what is being presented to you, and also the opportunity to debate it and discuss it. So nothing will be done in a rushed manner. We will relook at the curriculum. If we need to restructure it, we'll do it, but definitely not rush through it. Don't worry about that. We will not compromise in the quality of education that Krea is offering. The online screening process, like I mentioned, students will be broken into small groups of 5 to 6 students, 5 to 6 applicants. You will be engaging directly in a webinar like we are doing right now with 2 panelists who will be 2 faculty members. The 2 faculty members will take you through the case study. This could be a combination of a PowerPoint presentation. It could be videos that they show you. It could be voiceover. It could be text that they ask you to read. All of that put together will be the case study. You will then write an essay on your understanding of the case study, which will happen online. You will have your cameras on while we watch you write your essay. After you're done with that, we'll ask you to do a sort of a group activity with the rest of the 4 or 5 applicants. You discuss it, you create a presentation for it, one and all of you may present that case. And believe me, presentations are possible even on webinars. So you may write something on chart papers and show it up, and just as you would in a physical situation. After that, each one of you will be asked to leave the meeting except for one, and one by one, each one of you will have a one-on-one conversation with the interviewer or the panelist. You will also go through the font section in a similar way. It will come up to you on your screen, the questions. You have to just mark the options that are given to you. And while you're doing it, we will watch you with your webcam. So everything has moved online. And it's going to be very, very similar to how we had done it for the first round. Because in one particular cycle, we cannot change it so drastically that, the first round we evaluate students in a different way, but in the next 2 rounds we evaluate in a different way. We will not do that. We want to keep the evaluation similar across all 3 rounds. So this is how it will happen in this. But yes, we are all hopeful that it just gets over in 2 or 3 months. If it doesn't, remember we are all working towards quickly realigning ourselves or quickly reinventing ourselves so that nothing stops and your education continues. The admission process will 100% continue, but even the courses are happening online, the classes are happening online, and we hope that this finishes sooner than later. All students who join Krea are very, very meritorious. We don't have any reason to differentiate between them and say one is more meritorious than the other. But yes, the need may be different, and we will base all our financial aid waivers, financial assistance on your need of the family and not on merit at all. Yes, we are building a new campus. We have already acquired 100 acres land, and we are acquiring another 200 acres. And that will happen. We may have to face, and I'm not really sure about it. We may have to face a setback in the building because times such as now are not allowing us to build. But it will happen definitely. But for now, if you're joining the class of 2020, you'll probably spend your 3 years on this campus. But let me tell you, it's a beautiful campus. It's 40 acres, bigger than most other universities around, and it's a beautiful campus. So you needn't worry. It's really up to the mark, and we haven't really compromised on anything, even on this campus. We are building the new campus. We haven't built it as yet. It'll take a couple of years. Financial aid, no, I don't think it'll be affected this year by COVID-19 because we have very strong and serious, people who are supporting us. And I don't think we have the kind of commitments that will be backed off, just because of these few months of setback in the economy. We are quite well placed over there. So about the community nearby, why don't one of the two students answer this? There's a lot of community engagement that our students are doing. Why don't we talk about that a little?
As far as community engagement is concerned, so we have we have a boys orphanage very close to the university where students go and volunteer pretty much every week. There's a tie-up with Read India where the students go and they are used to they read to the children, they record audiobooks. There are all kinds of activities that go on. The sports club right now is working on organizing a sports tournament for getting these boys on campus and engaging them in activities. We've had students from orphanages and schools nearby come in and they spend the day on campus, and we engage them in various kinds of different activities. And there are people, there's an old age home very close by where again students go and volunteer. So that way, as far as community engagement is concerned, there is a social outreach club which is very actively involved in all kinds of social outreach, fundraising. And actually for COVID-19 itself, there is a rescue team that has come up very quickly that is currently working on collecting funds from within the university to help with relief for COVID patients all over the world. And one of the ways that they're enabling this is a lot of clubs, especially extracurricular clubs, have leftover budgets from the year. So we're trying to mobilize those towards helping patients around the world and helping those in need. So I think in the immediate community around as well as globally, there is a great amount of interest, and the social outreach club is one of the most popular clubs on campus. So for anyone interested in community outreach, I think Krea is an absolutely brilliant avenue too.
Yeah, so just to add on to that, the more, right outside the campus, like we have a village called Chengambaka. So that's where a majority of the housekeeping staff come from. So what we do is like a few of us do essentially go there and interact with them, find out what their problems are. And I think they're really like super nice people. Like when a few of us went there, they came, they sat down with us for half an hour, 45 minutes. They even gave us tea and a few snacks. So I feel like communicating with the people who actually work at Krea is something very important, and that's what we do because the community right outside is a village, and that's where they all come from. Other than that, the other thing that I would say is very good with the community nearby is that because it's an SEZ, there are a lot of factories. So all the factories we've approached so far have been very welcoming in terms of factory tours and things like that. So I would say that the community around Krea is very inclusive and like very welcoming to the students.
So we have a nature and outdoors club on campus, which is actually organizing a lot of these trips. So we have Tada Falls, which is around an hour away. We have the Satyavedu forest, which is just around 4 to 5 kilometers away, where people have gone regularly go on cycling trails, on trekking trails. We have a few lakes in our vicinity where students often go over the weekends. So that way, for any nature enthusiasts, I think there are a lot of options, in the near vicinity itself. And then there's obviously Chennai, where there are people can go every weekend for any sort of activities. So.
And are you allowed to bring vehicles on campus? I don't think so.
No.
Are you? No, you're not. Yeah, so I think the master students have a few bikes and all, but they are allowed, they have to park it outside, closer to the gate, and they can't bring it into the residential areas, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
And just one more point, Kanchi, that I wanted to
Please
mention.
do. Please.
Was that so? This is just to highlight the entire interwoven aspect of Krea. So as Arnav mentioned, there's this village called Chengambakam right outside our campus, and as part of one of our courses, which was exploring the social and the historical, one of our major projects was actually going out and engaging with these communities and talking to them, and then trying to come up with viable solutions to problems they face. Even in our design thinking course, one of the most so we are encouraged to kind of come up with problems solutions to problems that we see in our vicinity. And so although coming in, a lot of times you may feel like you are cut off from the community, that's not the case, because there are so many activities, especially through academics as well as non-academics, in which you really kind of start to build bonds with people around the campus, whether it just be the local, the convenience store, or whether it be this just a small bakery outside, or anything for that matter. So the community life is really wholesome, whether you look at it, in the near vicinity.
Sejal wants to know more about badminton. I know we have an indoor badminton court as well. Arnav, is there anything you can talk about, or
I personally do play badminton at Krea, and we have coaches coming in twice a week. But I feel like we have a national level badminton player who's doing his masters at the graduate school. So he often does come in and train us too. So I think the good thing is that the people at Krea, at least the students, are very fond of badminton. So I mean, from the time as soon as classes get over till around 9 to 10 p.m., even our director of Office of Student Life, Akshay, he comes and plays badminton with us. So I feel like we have a few WhatsApp groups for table tennis and badminton. If you're ever looking to play with, whether it's faculty or students or even master students, you can just tell them that is anyone free right now. You usually find anywhere between 1 to 4 people coming in.
Thank you. And the questions are still coming in. So no, we don't need letters of recommendation. If we do need them at a later stage, when after your KIC, your immersion day, we will reach out to you and request you if we need validation for something that you have written in your application. But really, we don't need letters of recommendation to start with. And a little bit about the curfew. Arnav, you'll have to come back on in to tell me about the curfew timings and all that.
Yeah, there are two curfews. One is to come back onto campus, so you have to be in campus by 10 p.m. and you have to be in your dorms by 1 a.m. And the main reason for this is that the reason why they want you to be in your dorms by 1 a.m. is because they want you to maintain a good sleep hygiene, which basically means that you have a few days where you have 8 a.m. classes and a few days where you have 9:15 a.m. classes. So they try to ensure that you get at least, I would say, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, at least what they try to do. So that's basically the reason why these curfews are being put into place. But the student body is trying to actively mend these curfews here and there. But I mean, given the fact that we are in Sri City, you ideally would have more happenings in campus than outside. So there's no worry on terms of that.
So how does, they want to know, how does your day look like at Krea?
So, my personal days, I usually wake up by around 7:30, and the breakfast timings are around from 7 to 9:30 a.m. So I usually eat breakfast as soon as by 8:30, and I go for classes. Classes, at least what faculty have been trying to do, at least while we on campus, is to end it by 12:30 at maximum. Sometimes they went on to 3, but usually by 12:30 you would be done with your classes. So after classes get over, you go back for lunch, and after that you have some amount of time. So what I do is I take my afternoons to finish all my workout, and then after that I usually go on a walk or something because the campus is really beautiful. The club activities like the science club, the dance club, the music club, and things like that that take up some amount of your time in the evenings. After that, there's this whole table tennis tournaments we have indoor. We have badminton. We have the open amphitheater. We have a few, events that go on to campus with like football tournaments with Triple IT. So we go on, spectate and cheer, Krea, and things like that. And then towards the night, again, what we do is usually we're with our friends. There are sometimes where the student body organizes parties. So like the day before we left, our second trimester, there was a farewell party which we all organized for each other. So I don't know, like there's this thing called Just Dance. So all of us just basically look at the screen and dance in the classrooms and things like that. So I mean, there's a lot of things happening. You can just choose whatever you like to do, I would say. And I would say you could be busy until like the curfew till 12:31. There are activities planned. So you just go onto the Google Calendar and see what's happening, and you'll be, you'll have a lot of things to do. Regarding attendance, there's no like UGC recommends, I think, around 80% attendance. Given that, we have a lot of sport quizzes, I would recommend that, I would say that the attendance rate at Krea, which I've seen, is around 95 to 100%, because you never know when the teacher's going to take a sport quiz. So you might as well just be there in all classes, because that's 5% of your grade. That's what teachers have done to ensure that attendance is strong. And also the other thing is that all, faculties, their guest lectures, and each and every class has something happening. So if you miss out on one class, it's very hard to, come back and catch up because you've lost the flow. And also because it's a small class, it's around anywhere between 9 to 24 students. The faculty know you, that you're usually involved in a group discussion or a group project. So your whole group could suffer, and the discussion could be lost if you're not there. So I'd say that attendance is usually quite high with Krea.
Ananya, I'm going to ask you to take the next question. There's somebody Sonika, who wants to know, will there be a culture shock or language barriers when you're interacting with staff, locals and staff? And to answer that, please.
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't speak Telugu. A lot of people on campus don't speak Telugu because, like, we have people from all states, and that's not really a language barrier. But like Arnav had previously mentioned on how we're starting 1-credit courses, so we're going to have 1-credit courses in Tamil, in Telugu, to enable this kind of interaction, to facilitate it better. But as far if you're coming from a non-Telugu background, that shouldn't be a problem at all.
I don't think so. And I think the staff is very, very friendly, and they really look after the students well. So I've not, in so many years, while the campus was just being, we just had the IFMR or the business school students there. Even then, there was no issues with the staff. And students come from all over the country. Vikram, I'm going to call you in for this question about the credit transfer. They want to know a little bit about, whether if you're transferring from other universities. And I know you've had some conversations about this. Would you like to answer this question?
So basically, I think as most of you know that we've just started, last August, and currently have only the first year going on at the university. We have had students from other liberal arts universities in India, traditional universities in India, and some students writing to us from universities abroad who want to transfer credits and take sort of a lateral entry into Krea. So basically, we are not close to this idea. We are very open for transfer students to come in next year when we start the second year courses at Krea. And the evaluation will be a bit different from how we evaluate applications in the first year. What we would really like to know is that whether you've done all the courses that we offer at the first year at Krea for the undergraduate program. So if you've had all those learning outcomes met, if your transcripts match the current set of courses that we have, then probably you will have a set of interviews with the faculty members. We're still forming this policy. It's still not being made. But basically it's that we want to match credits, and we want to know whether you've done the similar kind of courses at your university. And if yes, then definitely we are open to transfers.
And also somebody has asked about the current hostels or our new ones being built. No, we're not building hostels for students right now. We have capacity to take in one more batch. And after that, if required, we will build, or we might even have, the opportunity to move to the new campus. But whatever, we are set right now. We don't need to build more hostels for students. Yes, it is 2 per room. They have attached bathrooms, and like somebody mentioned, they are completely air conditioned and they are quite comfortable. Anna, would you like to talk about the fests that we organize or participate in?
Sure. So I think we've at Krea very passionate about what we do. So we've participated in the SRM Fest. We've participated in Sarang of IIT Madras, and we try to participate a lot in regards to creating fest. We were actually in plan. So IFMR has the Abou Fest, which just took place, which is a graduate school, and they had colleges, several colleges all over India coming, and their theme was basically theater this year. So that was the fest they planned, but the fest we were planning was scheduled to be in Jan, but because of this whole COVID scenario, it might be pushed back a bit. So we are actively planning our own SIS fest, which will be open to all undergraduate colleges in India. It's something we're yet in process of doing, but we do actively take part in any things that are close by around Sri City, Chennai, and we're planning to expand as soon as we have teams ready to participate in bigger events.
So as far as the new campus is concerned, so any campus that size and the kind of facilities that we are building will take about 2 years. So this batch that joins, it might just spend its last year in the new campus. But I don't think in 21 we'll be ready for you to move to the new campus. We answered about, Vikram, would you like to answer this once more? Possible to transfer credits from Krea to a different... Actually, it really depends. Yeah, please go ahead, Vikram. I think you should answer.
So basically, we've not started any kind of transfers as yet. As you know that we are in the first year. Usually transfers happen after the second year at university level. But definitely, I think, the kind of courses that we do, the major structures that we have are, so we've taken, like benchmarking from some of the best universities from around the world. We have people who've taught at these universities. So definitely, though this is a very subjective question, but I don't see why somebody who studied at Krea for a year or two is not able to transfer their credits. I think we definitely match some of the best global standards in education. So I don't think it should be a problem. Kanchi?
Correct. And it's also really the other university or the organization's prerogative to see whether they want you to come in or not. They will have their own evaluation systems, and we won't be able to, comment on that. No, we don't have a dress code. I don't think students have a dress code at all. Nothing strictly formal. You should be well dressed, neat and clean. I think that's really the way we expect you to dress. That's all. Be as hygienic as
asking
possible.
one question. Vedantika, if you don't have your 9 to 8 scores, I think a lot of students are asking this question to us. So you don't have to wait. We know that your school is closed and you won't be able to procure it anytime soon. So go ahead and fill your application form, and submit it. And as in when you get it, you can email it to the admissions email ID.
Thank you, Vikram. And with this, I think we should close today. We've had a long conversation, but a very good one. And I'm so happy you could bring in your questions to us. I've got some messages, I think, from a couple of counselors who are saying that they will send us their questions on an email. We'll be happy to answer those. You can write to us at ask@Krea. We have a helpline number online. You can call us anytime. And reach out to us and ask your questions and queries. We'll be happy to help you. Our student ambassadors will be happy to help you through the process. So don't worry if you don't have your scores right now or whatever. Just go in, fill in the application, send it across. Let us know why you don't have the transcripts and how you're not able to get it. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much to everyone. And hopefully we'll keep this conversation going. We had a lot more registrations than the people who could join today. So we will make this a regular feature, and we are all getting used to this. Even I'm a little, uncomfortable initially. I was with the whole online thing. I'm old, but we'll get used to it, and we'll continue to do this. I hope you didn't hear all the vegetable sellers sounds in my from my background, but that's a reality. We're all working from home. So I really enjoyed this, and we will continue. We will have another one next week. And please do join us if you have any more questions. Be in touch, be safe, stay at home. Thank you.